at the moment, transgender right activists ambush a women's rights rally in Tacoma, Washington. One counter-protester seen here trying to shove a speaker. Another attack at the rally reportedly left a victim with 2 broken fingers. Kellie J. Keene attended the rally and joins me now. Wow. So it sounded like things got violent. First of all, what was the purpose of this rally? And then describe a little bit more about what ended up happening.
Well, the purpose is to literally let women speak because, I mean, now Elon Musk has taken over Twitter, maybe it's not so bad, but women are being silenced all through tech. So we're taking our voices back to the public square. I mean, many of those women attended, they've lost their jobs, they've lost their livelihoods, they might have lost their children to this pernicious cult of transgenderism, and they just want to talk about it.
So were there men, Kellie J., in the group of people that were attacking you?
Yeah, I mean, it's overtly populated by quite misogynist, violent men, but also there's a lot of young women singing their praises and being really, really hateful. But the violence often comes from men, and April got her fingers crushed by a man's bare hands. You know, he literally got her hand in his and crushed it and broke her fingers.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, you've obviously done a number of these kind of events before. You've enlisted reactions, but positive, negative before. I mean, were you surprised by the intensity of feelings which happened on your tour down under?
Yes, I was. So I knew it was going to be hostile because we are in a bizarre episode of human history in which normal people that understand the truth are fighting against sort of a quasi-religious authoritarian cult. So I knew that it was going to be difficult. But what normally happens in these situations is you get the people that are part of the cult that will be very, very angry with you and shout dogmatic mantras at you. And that's understandable. And I accept that. And they are almost invited because they prove my point, really, as to why I don't want them in women-only spaces.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to talk about Riley Gaines and what happened to her at San Francisco State University, where she was ambushed by an angry mob. And we know that Riley Gaines was a collegiate swimmer, and she's very vocal about women's sports not being invaded by biological males who, you know, are appearing to dominate in many areas now. She competed against Leah Thomas, and she's been very vocal about her experience. She and other female athletes have been speaking out. And yeah, she was ambushed. Something similar happened to Kellie J. Keene in New Zealand and Tacoma, Washington. Basically, again, being attacked by an angry mob. And, you know, this is not okay. So I'm going to go through the article and then we're going to look at a short video of what happened at that event. So it says, terrified, swimming champion Riley Gaines is ambushed by screaming trans activists and hit twice by guy in a dress after saving women's sports speech at San Fran State University, as cops say there were no arrests. And I'm noticing that this is a common theme. When these people attack others, there's usually no arrests. I've seen it at different events now. College swimming champion Riley Gaines has filmed herself being ambushed by screaming trans activists and was allegedly hit multiple times by a guy in a dress following a speech about saving women's sports. A terrified Gaines, 23, was forced to barricade herself inside a room for around 3 hours at the San Francisco State University campus last night after a group of activists ambushed her. Gaines' husband, Louis Barker, said he had brief conversations with his wife while she was locked in the room for nearly 3 hours. She told me she was hit multiple times by a guy in a dress. I was shaking. It made me that mad. It makes me sick to feel so helpless about it, Barker said. She was under police protection and was still hit by a man wearing a dress. Right, so she did have security with her. The prisoners are running the asylum at SFSU. I was ambushed and physically hit twice by a man, Gaines wrote in a tweet. This is proof that women need sex-protected spaces. still only further assures me I'm doing something right. When they want you silent, speak louder. And this is the thing, this isn't helping their cause, because why would women want these violent individuals in their spaces? It only confirms even more that they cannot be in our spaces.
Just me. I'm good. I'm coming. I'm good. Trust me, I'm good. Go ahead.
So they're screaming trans rights are human rights, but they don't seem to care about Riley Gaines' human rights. They don't seem to care about her freedom of speech. They don't seem to care about her voice. When she attends these events, a lot of the time, she's just talking about her own experiences, competing against a biological man, such as Leah Thomas. That's what she's doing for the most part. We're at the point now where women aren't allowed to speak about their experiences and what they go through due to what's going on at the moment.
Women walking into the SCCA Convention, demanding rights and protections and fairness for female athletes.
So San Francisco Police Department said it was investigating the incident, but there were no arrests related to the event. A spokesman added, the disruption occurred after the conclusion of the event, which made it necessary for UPD officers to move the event speaker from the room to a different safe location. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy condemned the incident as an appalling attack on free speech on a college campus. And this is a common theme. We have people, conservatives, they're invited to these colleges and they're just run out of the place. Or, they're not allowed to speak. Protesters will stand there and just shout and cause a lot of disruption where the person's not even able to speak and communicate with their audience. And yeah, it's definitely a way of infringing upon free speech, taking away the free speech from people you don't like, from people you disagree with. He tweeted, House Republicans stand with Riley Gaines and her brave and tireless efforts to protect women's sports. While she spoke to students, Gaines' comments elicited backlash in the form of hysterical cries which drowned out her speech. And that's a common tactic they use. They will stand there and shout and wail and everything to literally just drown out the person's voice. Tonight, Riley Gaines spoke at San Francisco State University to share her personal story of competing against a biological male athlete, Leah Thomas, at the women's NCAA swimming championships last year. Ellie Bremer, Gaines' agent, said to Fox News Digital in a lengthy statement, "In the past year, her goal in speaking at universities has been to educate her peers about her experience and what the impact of the growing number of biological males in women's sports will do to the integrity of Title IX. She has been questioned in civil and somewhat uncivil manners about her views many times, and she thoroughly encourages diverse viewpoints and debate on this issue." And that's the thing, she's not allowed to simply give her take on this issue. She's not allowed to talk about her personal experiences as someone who had to compete against Leah Thomas. You're not allowed to speak out and just give your own account. Share what happened to you. Share your own experience. For some reason, they want to stop women from doing that. And then the statement goes on to say, instead of a thoughtful discussion tonight at SFSU, Riley was violently accosted, shouted at, physically assaulted, and barricaded in a room by protesters. It is stunning that in America in 2023, it is acceptable for biological male students to violently assault a woman for standing up for women's rights. This will not stop Riley from boldly educating people of the dangers of biological males in women's sports. She will continue to speak the truth against the radical left that no longer understands the difference between men and women. Clearly they don't. Around 100 protesters mobbed the campus to oppose the swimmers' appearance on Thursday evening, according to university's student-run newspaper, Golden Gate Express. And this is the thing, that universities are going to have a zero tolerance with this sort of thing. It's one thing to protest peacefully, outside or wherever, but to actually attempt to literally stifle the voice of the speaker so they cannot be heard, to run them off the stage where they have to retreat to safety. That is infringing upon their freedom of speech. That is infringing upon their human rights to be safe, to be able to speak, to be able to share, to be able to participate in an event that they were invited to. And this is San Francisco, so no surprises there when it comes to being soft, on crime, being soft on people who cause trouble and threaten others. We know the founder of Cash App was murdered there recently. He only went back there for business. He left San Francisco and moved to Florida because it became too violent there. It wasn't safe there. And he only went back for business purposes. And he ended up getting murdered. These trans activists, they're treated with kids' gloves. They're treated with kids' gloves, but yet they are dangerous because they attack people simply for disagreeing with them. Even if you agree with them in some aspects, if you don't agree with them 100%, the evidence is showing now that they will turn violent, they will attack. And these people, many of them have been radicalized. We know about the trans wannabe mass shooter that was arrested. They were arrested at the end of March, but it only came to light, yesterday, that this person was planning on attacking various elementary, middle schools and a high school and churches. A manifesto was found. It's only because a concerned family member turned this person in that they're now in police custody. But they were planning on basically being a copycat killer after what happened in Nashville. And these people have been radicalized. And who's helped radicalize them? Our very president, our press secretary, the radical leftists, mainstream media have helped radicalize these people, telling them that they're under attack. Even after Christians were murdered in a school, including 3 children, who were the ones we were told were under attack? The trans community, not the Christians, not children. So again, we need to talk about how violence seems to be acceptable when it comes to certain groups. People aren't arrested, people aren't accosted, people aren't stopped. Now, I'm sure the police who were protecting Riley, I'm sure she's grateful, but ultimately there seems to be no repercussions for this sort of behaviour. So, you know, let me know what you think. I'm glad that Riley Gaines is doing what she's doing. She's only 23 and, you know, she's working tirelessly to save women's sports, because if we continue to let biological males dominate, it's going to be worthless. Women's sports is going to become defunct. Let's just be real. So I commend Riley Gaines. I commend women such as Kellie, J. Keane. These are true women's rights activists. Some feminists seem to be on board with this. They call themselves feminists, but they're cheering on, you know, in the name of inclusivity, they're cheering on biological males taking opportunities away from women. It's a conflict. You can't have both. You can't have it both ways. You know, so let me know what you think. Share your thoughts below. Do you think this is becoming more and more concerning now, where women are being, you know, who do you really think are the people who are under attack? So take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video.